The AFL finals are set, well almost. If the Gold Coast Suns beat Essendon, as we expect them to do, and win by around 5 goals, it should give them enough percentage to leapfrog Hawthorn into 7th place and kick out the Western Bulldogs. If that happens, I think it's fair to say the best 8 teams will be playing in September. Round 24 delivered with a thrilling Sunday night game to cap off the home and away season, and now we wait 2 weeks until the final series begins. The starting point is with the Fremantle Football Club. What a win. Away from home and backs against the wall. It was a shaky start, being down by 16 points at quarter time, with a struggle at times to get the ball past halfway, but a blistering 7-goal-to-zip second quarter set up the win. The Bulldogs fought on late, but don't let the scoreboard fool you. The Dockers controlled the middle 2 quarters, and it was mainly through the air. Josh Tracy, Patrick Voss and Jai Amos kicked 3 goals each, but seemed to win most aerial contests all over the field, dominating Rory Lobb, James O'Donnell and the subbed off James Buslinger. The other end of the ground was equally as significant, as captain Alex Pearce manhandled Sam Darcy as well as anyone has, while Aaron Norton never really threatened. Most games are won between the arcs, but Fremantle won with their dominance at the bookends of the ground. They are now 7-2 against the top 9 teams in the AFL, and that stat alone proves Fremantle not only match it with the big boys, but are winning far more often than not. Justin Longmuir said it himself. We seem to play our best footy against the better teams. The Dockers now host the home elimination final, likely against Gold Coast. Then there are the losers in the Western Bulldogs. They are technically still alive, but Essendon would have to cause an all-time great upset away against the Gold Coast Suns. 14 wins and a percentage of 137 is still a solid season on face value, but the deeper you look, the more the flaws stand out. The Dogs only beat GWS in the top half of the ladder, doing it twice, but fell short against the rest. Sure, they can score and play nice football, but the defence is the glaring hole. It's been pointed out all year, and without Liam Jones at his best to save them, the back 6 has been exposed against the better teams over and over again. Lobb and O'Donnell were just way off it against Fremantle and have been in most other games against the top 8. You would think list management will try to plug that key defensive role, but they are hard to come by. In his post-match press conference, Beveridge made it loud and clear where he thinks the team needs to improve. Definitely at times, the opposition key forwards have got a hold of us. It is an area we need to continue to focus on to improve. Work with our current players who play there, or perhaps whether or not there's an opportunity in the market there. The Bulldogs might be unlucky in the historical context to miss the 8, but in the 2025 context, they don't really deserve a place on the finals grid. Unlike Fremantle, the Bulldogs have not played their best football against the best. It's clear the Dogs have high-end talent and in patches have played strong football, but it's hard to be a contender with a shaky backbone of a defence that hasn't been able to be corrected this year. Let's move further up the ladder to the top 4. Collingwood barely got the job done against the feisty D's, but it came at a Jeremy Howe cost again. He hurt his groin and is expected to miss significant time, possibly being ready for a preliminary final if the Pies can get that far. It looks unlikely Bobby Hill will be back again, but the bye comes at a good time for Collingwood just to reset. They owe Kenny and Port a bit, who snuck them into 4th with that big upset win over the Suns. Feels like the Pies have crawled their way into finals, but with a double chance they have a free shot at the Crows in Adelaide, where we all saw them play very well not too long ago. Because of Collingwood winning and the Suns' loss, it meant only one of Brisbane or Hawthorn could get that last final spot. Brisbane's best is still the best. Against the top 8, they lead the AFL in so many metrics, including points against, inside 50 differential, while also scoring the 3rd most. Now the margin in the game was close, but the Lions, if not for inaccuracy, especially early on, controlled the game. Now a controversial insufficient intent call on Carl Amon will make the headlines, and it was a 50-50 decision, but the Lions won the key metrics across the game. They are now set up as well as anyone else in the past 5 years to go back-to-back and should welcome in Lachie Neale for their final against Geelong. Hawthorn are looking likely to go to Sydney to play the Giants, but they'll have no fear. Hawthorn has played well on the road against the best teams, but just fallen short, losing by 8 points to the Suns, Fremantle by 13, Adelaide by 14, and 19 on Sunday to Brisbane. They haven't got the 4 points in any of these games, but show they are more than capable of matching it away. Hawthorn will be a very strong 7th or 8th place team. Now the top two sides got the jobs done in their games, cruising to the finish line of the home and away season. Adelaide showed enough firepower without Isaac Rankin, but his absence will be huge. He's a classic match winner, and with Josh Rochelli's knee listed as TBC on the Crows injury report, Matthew Nicks might be without his two best small forwards come the qualifying final. The rest of the 23 is strong and in order, and the Crows got back their transition game against North Melbourne, with some questioning that element of their game in the lead up to round 24. We will see the effect no Rankin has, and Crows fans will be hoping it is somehow minimal against Collingwood. Geelong has snuck into second place comfortably, but will face the Lions at the G, who have had the wood over them the past couple seasons. Brisbane can just turn a game so quickly, and the Cats will know that from last season's preliminary final. But this is a different Geelong team with a stronger on-ball unit, and they seem to be perfectly healthy. Don't be surprised to see Patrick Dangerfield play much more on-ball time, who has saved himself up for the final season perfectly. He is a wild card in September and might help match the midfield power of Brisbane if Scott chooses to deploy him more often at centre bounces. But there is still one game to go. The Gold Coast Suns couldn't fight away their Adelaide Oval Demons. They are still yet to win a game in their club history there, but surely they couldn't fall flat on their face at home against half a VFL Essendon team. It feels like the Suns deserve to play finals for the first time ever, but there is still one job to come on an awkward Wednesday night time slot. The Suns have only lost 2 games at People's First Stadium, and that was to Fremantle and GWS. It would be just about the biggest upset in modern times. Still, the Western Bulldogs and their fans will be wearing red and black scarves, hoping for a last gasp miracle, while the AFL team will actually train on Tuesday in a slow form of torture, just in case the highly improbable ends up happening. So the finals are just about set and the matchups look great. We all sit and wait for the official fixtures and then enjoy the build-up into the first week of finals. The latter shows there is not much between the 8 sides, so hopefully the games can live up to the tight nature of the top half of the competition.